Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. This is the main event of the evening, 12 rounds or less, with heavyweight contender, the big hitting Amir, hardcore Mansour. Amir, how are you?
What's up, man? I'm good, man. I'm good.
Thank you so much for being on BWTM Sports.
No problem.
Amir, I've been chasing you down for a long time to get this interview, and finally we're making it happen.
Yeah, man. I know, right? Man, but we here now.
Well, we're here now, chat. We're here now. Okay, let's get down to the facts and figures. First and foremost, we know your name's Amir Hardcore Mansour. Tell us your record. Tell us division you're in, of course. Just a little bit about you.
Record 23-2, 17 knockouts, 1 draw. Heavyweight division, of course.
Yes.
Current USA WBC champ, former NABO champ, former USBA champ, former NABA champ, former WBF Continental champ. The most decorated heavyweight that has yet to get a title shot.
Absolutely. And a devastating puncher. Do you know why? I tell you one of the reasons why I really wanted to get this interview with you. Because when I look at Amir Mansour, I don't see media BS. I see a man that wants to fight. I see a man that doesn't need any cotton wool, a man that wants to fight and can fight and will fight anybody and has the power to knock anybody out. Proper old school fighter. When I see a man like that in boxing, particularly in the heavyweight division, I want to know more about him. And you've got a story to tell us about yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, for sure, man.
So tell us, where do you hail from?
I'm from New Jersey, Penns Grove, New Jersey,
Right.
USA. Born and raised there, but it's in the tri-state area. The tri-state area is Philadelphia, New Jersey, and Delaware. And
Right.
Grew up maybe about 20 minutes from Philadelphia, so of course, grew up right next to the mecca of boxing, and boxing has always been an interest of mine. Been boxing since I was like 16 years old, man.
Okay, so what got you into boxing in the first place, Amir?
The first place, it was a guy in my neighborhood that used to come around with the boxing gloves, man. We was just kids. Probably the first time I put on gloves, I may have been about 4 or 5 years old. And I wanted to, box anybody, but kids my age, they didn't want to box, so I ended up boxing like this real older dude, man. And of course he whooped my ass, but it is what it is. And that's my earliest memory of boxing. Grew up around uncles that used to box. My mom used to box. It was just something that, the family used to do. And then when I got to an age where, I could go back and forth to a gym, that's what I did. I actually was in a youth prison where I was getting in a lot of trouble there, so they shipped me to an adult prison. And I was 16 then, and I joined the boxing team in New Jersey. All the prisons, like Broadway, that was on. I think that was in the Rocky movie and a lot of movies. Trenton State Prison, that was in a lot of movies. Real notorious prisons, and each prison in the state, they had a yearly tournament, man, and they used to take us to each prison, for this yearly tournament, and you would be the prison champ. In 1992, man, I entered the tournament and won it, and from that point on, everybody used to be like, man, you better turn pro, turn pro, turn pro. And my nickname was Youngin because I was a juvenile in adult prison, man, and that's how I started fighting, man. I just, I was knocking guys out and stuff like that, and so I learned early that I had a knockout punch, man, and really from the older guys telling me, look, you could really make a living at this. You could really go home and, turn pro. And so that's what I did.
So you turn pro. Now, before you turn pro, now, I know there is a difference between TV or Hollywood and the reality. When we talk about the prison and the prison life, there are guys, I'm sure you know, that are on the streets. They've never been to prison, who glorify being in prison, and will talk about how much of a hard life they've had. And you've been in prison, you've been in that situation. Is it like they portray it on the TV, or is it hell of a lot worse?
So and so, man, 50-50, depending on which movie you're referring to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't glorify it, man, because it's nothing to glorify. It's not a badge of honor. It's not a badge of respect. You know, and it's nothing, man. It's absolutely nothing that young kids or young men or young women should look up to. You know, look down on somebody that says, yeah, I've been in prison for a few years. Don't look up to nothing like that. What you can look up to is whether or not they define themselves as someone other than a person that has been in prison. You know, if they redefine themselves, as a matter of fact, you know, to be someone that the community can look up to, and not just someone that says, oh, he's a tough guy, he's a bad guy, he's been to prison. That's bullshit. Prison is for suckers, man. Prison is for losers. You understand? And prison is a life that nobody wants. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, man. You're talking about literally being locked up in a cage. You got guys younger than you telling you what to do, when to eat, when to sleep, when to piss. You know, racist people, you know, and people who are, you know, they might have a bad day at home. They come to work, they take it out on you because they can. And here's a person that you can squash like a fly. But you got to listen to them, and you got to listen to them yell and curse at you. It's a demeaning situation to be in, and it's a situation that nobody wants to be in, and that is why I don't glorify it. I never will glorify it because it deserves no glorification.
I'm kind of glad you said that, but why is it there are guys, and you know the guys, they walk the street and say, don't mess around with him, he's been to prison, or he's a bad man, he's from prison. When somebody says that to you, or you've been on the street talking, they go, hey, you know, that Meldrick boy, you know, he's from prison, he's a killer, he's a bad man, you know. What does that indicate to you?
I just shake my head, man, at the irony of it. You know what I'm saying? Here's a situation that a person could put themselves in. You're at the lowest point of mankind. You're at the lowest point of life. In every society, they all have prisons. If you want to find the lowest point in life and the lowest point in that society, just visit a prison. And so, to me, it's stupidity to glorify that just because someone's tough. Let me tell you something. I know a lot of tough guys that has never been to prison. But not only are they tough, they're smart, they're intelligent, and they were strong enough and wise enough at younger ages not to break the law or not to fall in with the wrong crowd, and will whip your ass. You understand what I'm saying? So a person, just because they've been to prison, it does not define toughness, because trust me, I know some guys who have murdered people, you know, were feared on the streets and came to prison and would cry every day and was washing guys' laundry and you know, was ironing guys' clothes. And here it is, they a stone cold killer in their hood. They a stone cold gangster in their hood, but they in prison washing other men's drawers, ironing other men's clothes, and crying every day. So, you know, again, I don't glorify prison, man, because it's not a situation that I would wish on my worst enemy, and it's not a situation that should be glorified. The only thing that can ever be glorified as a result of a person going to prison, man, is if they rose above that situation, or if they use that time in prison to enhance their strength mentally, physically, spiritually, you know, and came home and became a man or a woman, and their ways and actions projected that type of image, a man or a woman that you can look up to, or somebody that you would introduce to your child or to your children. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not somebody that, oh, he's a big bad guy. You know, I want to be somebody that people bring their children up to me and ask me to shake their children's hand, ask me to, talk to their kids, give them good advice, take pictures with their kids. That's the type of personification I want to project and that I would like to be. Not somebody, he's been to prison, he's big and bad. That's just the biggest stupidity and stupidest thing that we as human beings, have done. And we do a lot of stupid stuff as humans. We glorify a lot of stupid things because of the projections that Hollywood tell us they are, because of the projections that the media tell us they are. And we follow suit of a lot of stupid things and glorifying people simply because they've been to prison or fearing them because they've been to prison is one of those stupid things that, we've managed to do. And like I said, I know a lot of killers in the streets, a lot. I know some guys, man, that came in that prison, 35, 40 years because they done killed somebody, blew a joker's head off in broad daylight, feared in their city, feared in their hood, and they in prison washing another man's drawers, washing another man's clothes, ironing another man's, clothes and stuff like that, another man taking his, commissary, his food, basically being another man's woman, but in his hood, he's glorified, so never ever, man, look at that type of situation, man, as something that personifies strength or it's big and bad, because it doesn't.
We've seen fighters in the past going to prison, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, Adrian Broner. Are there conspiracies behind those situations of successful fighters being set up and sent to prison, or is it because of their own stupidity?
50-50, If Floyd Mayweather wasn't who he was and who he is or who he was at the time of his incarceration, if he wasn't that guy, he would have never went to jail for something so stupid, because the reality of that is that he was just arguing with his girlfriend. It was a heated argument, but he ain't beat the girl up. He ain't put hands on her. You understand?
Yeah.
The way that the media projected it. And so, and she probably was angry, and you're a brother. And
I know.
You ain't even gotta be a brother. As men, we know how mad a woman can get when she hurt. A woman will grab a gun and blow your brains out, man. She could and get away with it. When she's hurt, she will do anything. She will do anything to hurt you back. And a lot of times I tell people, man, women more ruthless than men. They really are sometimes. I love my sisters, white, black, brown, candy stripe. I love them. I love the mothers of the earth. But they could be some cruel people, when they're hurt. Yeah. Feel betrayed. So I don't really know the situation that caused the argument, but one thing I do know is that he's not a woman beater, and if he wasn't Floyd Mayweather, he wouldn't have went to jail. And then we do know the situation with Mike Tyson, man. If he was a broke joker, the girl would have never been in his hotel room in the first place. But if he wasn't Mike Tyson and she didn't think that she could get a lot of money from him, she would have never ever, took it that way. You know what I mean? So of course, his stardom, ended up being his real, his downfall when it came to that situation. She was looking for money, man, and that was quite obvious to the American people. But when you in Indiana, which is, basically considered by black people in America as a not so black friendly, city, and then you're charged with, a crime, and you're black, sitting in front of a jury, and the whole jury, everybody's white. You best believe you're not going to get down anything.
Dang. Wow. And what about the Joker, Adrian Broner?
Broner, I don't really know his situation, man. Broner's just a young kid having a bunch of fun, man, and taking things, pushing limits. He's just pushing limits, man. That's all he's doing. And he's a young kid. He's very talented, obviously, but he's mismanaging himself, if you ask me. But he's not a criminal or anything like that. He hasn't done anything to deserve jail time, And like I said, man, a lot of times with people, that rise to stardom in this country, I don't know about over there, but in this country, you will get treated harshly in the court system because they want to make an example of you, particularly if you're black. You're definitely going to be made an example of.
Wow. What about Gervonta Davis? What are your thoughts on him and the way he's going about his career?
In 2012, I began training in Baltimore, Maryland, where Devontae is from, and that's where I met him and his coach. And they sought my advice. His coach sought my advice out, and he was getting ready to turn pro. He was 17, getting ready to turn 18, and my advice to them was at the time, let him rest, stop him from all these amateur fights, let him go ahead and rest, and when the time is right, I'll give y'all the contact to Mayweather and them out in Vegas and take him out there. And that's exactly what they did.
Wow. Wow.
It's such a coincidence that you did ask me about him, you know. And, you know, like I said, I met him at that time in his life right before he turned pro, you know. He's a good kid, you know. He's really having a lot of fame real fast. I believe that he can handle it. I definitely believe that he can handle it. And by the way, I'm not claiming any responsibility of, you know, getting him out there to Vegas. You know, that just was my advice to his coach.
Right.
And, you know, I may have been one of many who gave him that same advice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm friends with those guys. When we see each other, we bust it up and we talk about, you know, the times that, you know, we met each other and stuff like that in that particular situation. So, you know, so it's all good.
Okay.
But yeah, I think he's a talented. He's obviously a talented kid, very talented. But I want him to be more of himself when it comes to a fighter. I want him to be more, you know, Devontae in that ring. His last outing, I wasn't too impressed with his last performance. To be honest with you, I thought he was a little behind on
Amir,
the fight.
Amir, you're muffling up. Your voice not clear. Not yet. Try again.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, Devontae is he's going to be a great champion, man. I don't foresee anybody in his weight class being able to defeat him anytime soon. I thought his last outing, though, on the Mayweather-McGregor undercard, I thought, you know, he was having a rough time pulling his trigger, you know, and more busier than he was his last outing. I don't want him to get caught up in all the hype and all the stardom that he's having. And sometimes it's easy to do that, you know what I mean? But I think a guy like Devontae, he's surrounded by Sam Watson. What's the other guy name? He's actually from DC. I forget. Leonard. Those guys are going to make sure he stay grounded, man. They are awesome dudes, man. So, you know, and I'm sure that they looked at the last fight and come to conclusions that, yeah, you could have did better. You stopped him, but you could have did better. It got a little shaky here and there, but he's a champion, man. Look at him, man. Every time the kid gets in the ring, he shines, man, and he performs and he delivers, and I think he'll continue doing that.
Okay. Do you know when I look at a fighter, this is not the kind of spider sense that goes. Maybe there's a spider sense of being a journalist, and I look at a guy and think, they've got a backstory. They've got something there. And when I picked you out and said, you know what, I really want to talk to Amir, there were two things. I think I admire this guy as a fighter, but there's something else. And now just talking to you over the last 10 to 15 minutes, we're hearing some of the wealth and the knowledge that is that's coming out of you. And we haven't even touched on your own boxing career in terms of your heavyweight professional career yet, really. And I really appreciate your frankness and your openness, particularly at the state of where America is at the moment, and the climate is in America at the moment.
Yeah, this climate, man, right now will cut you like a knife, man. But really, for the most part, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. For the most part, it's misinformation.
Okay.
You know, it's misinformation from first grade all the way up to 12th grade and throughout college. And then you send these people out into the world as professionals to keep the mechanisms of America running, and they're all miseducated in terms of who you are as a black person and who I am as a white person. All each other know is, you know, I'm a simple man that you snatched from Africa and turned into a slave.
Hold on, I mean, you're breaking up.
Not the true reality.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up. So come again, but you're breaking up. Repeat what you just said, but you're breaking up.
Okay. Can you hear me clear now?
No, you've gone quite quiet. Man, you're spitting wisdom at the moment. Yeah, go ahead. Fire.
Now?
Yes, perfect. Perfect.
Perfect. Okay. Well, I mean, like I said,
yes,
the climate over here is challenging at times, but for the most part, you know, like I said, it really all stems from being miseducated and misinformed about who you are as a white person and who you are as a black person. You know, it's a stigma in America. You know, white man, slave master, former slave master, black man, former slave. And that's all we know of each other. You understand? We don't know that we used to live in harmony at one time. You know, white people don't know that black people taught them everything that they're doing today. Mathematics, astronomy, science, agriculture. White people, for the most part, don't have a clue that we are the ones who brought them out of darkness. And so it's a lack of respect over here, and then it's a lack of respect over there, and it's just a bunch of misinformation, man, and misguided people, and then we're trying to work with the knowledge we have. You understand?
Absolutely.
So if I'm misinformed about, you ever hear about him, you think bad of him, but then when you meet him, you say, man, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
That's the situation over here, man. You know, a lot of times we don't like each other until we have dialogue. Like, I got a lot of white friends, a lot, and I love them to death, man. My management is white, and these guys, I mean, I look at my manager, Joe Hand, I look at him, man, like as a true father figure, like literally, like, you know, no exaggeration. You know, this man has done so much for me and my family, you know, so it's really experience. And then, you know, like I said, you know, you hear bad things about people, but then when you meet them and they come across genuine, you say, wow, I didn't know, you know, you were this good of a person. And that's how it is over here, man. Just a bunch of misinformation. But like I said, for the most part, I believe that majority of Americans, you know, want a great country. They want, you know, equality, and they want genuine things coming across and dealing with each other in the social order of things. They want genuine equality over here, you know, and you know, but you know, it's a long way to go, man. It really is, man. It's a long way to go, but you know, you got some strong people over here that are making strides to make sure it happens.
Okay, that's some fantastic stuff you're talking there, and some real knowledge you're dropping as well, which is always good. We appreciate people. I mean, one of the closest people we have on the channel and close to myself is Uncle James Ali Bashir. I'm sure you know who that is.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
Uncle is a regular on the channel. And he's always dropping his bombs and his knowledge. And when you're from that part of the world, particularly America, you've got no choice but to drop bombs, because that's what you're around, and what you're being educated around, and kind of life experience as well. It is it's a different world in America completely.
Yeah, it is, man. It really is, you know. And like I said, though, but if you came over here, you would be like, man, it's nothing like what the media has told you. You understand? Just like, for the most part, maybe 80% of Americans don't even know that top of the 5 performing stock markets are in Africa. Some of the biggest cities in the world are in Africa. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
some of the most beautiful places in the world is in Africa. Some of the richest people in the world are in Africa. But for the most part, about 80-85% of Americans, because of what the media tells them, they believe that these people over there, everybody lives in huts, everybody's poor, and there's just corruption everywhere. So again, man, it's misinformation, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's misinformation, it's miseducation, and it's misguidance. And a lot of times people don't really understand or be able to determine the real truth unless they go ahead and get the dialogue themselves, or they go ahead and say, I'm not going to believe what you tell me about this person. I'm going to find out on my own.
Amir, I've just worked it out about you. I often wonder, why is this guy not fought for the World Heavyweight Championship yet? So now we've got a guy who's southpaw, who can punch, and is articulate as well, and knowledgeable. Man, you're dangerous.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes I say, man, if I was a bit dumber and dumber, man, I would have had my opportunity, man. I really do, man. Because here it is, I'm 45 years old, man, and these guys are still scared to fight me. You know what I mean? That's what I'm being told. Nobody wants to fight you. Nobody wants to fight you. When I just fought Travis Kaufman in his backyard with his dad on the promotional side of things, so many things, 2 days before the fight, they went from 10 rounds to 12 rounds. We fought for the USA WBC title. Winner was supposed to get a title shot, and I got news from him and a close person in his camp. If he would have won that fight, him and Wilder definitely would fight. And Wilder's scared of me, and they're allowing him to continue to run from me, and I don't get it. When I lost to Breazeale, dude, that I was beating on every judge's scorecard, every single round. The only way he could have won if he had knocked me out. He went and fought Joshua. Hats off to him, hats off to him. He weathered the storm. He won the fight fair and square. Hats off to him. But the question that was asked was, do you think you would have got a title fight against Joshua had you beat Breazeale? And I said, you know what? I really don't know. But now, it's like, I know. These guys are going to do everything they can do in their power, man, to dodge and to get away from me, man. They don't want to see me in that ring.
Let's talk now about Amir Mansour. The first question I have to ask you, and it's a question in terms of your career, and I'm puzzled by it, but I said, you know what? I'm going to wait until I get Amir Mansour and ask him the question. Here it is. Why did you lose all that weight?
Against who?
Joey.
The Waco?
Yes. Talk to me about that fight, because people said to me, "Oh, you lost all this weight." Remember, I'm listening to this from the media. I can't trust what they say anyway. Oh, Mansour lost all this weight, so he's looking to be faster. Right. And then I didn't see you hit with the same punching power, or if you did, Joey took it very well. Can you explain to me? Yeah, please do.
First of all, taking nothing from Joey. Believe me, Joey can take a punch, and Joey can take power, from a guy like me.
Right.
Joey is very, very crafty. His size will be the biggest delusion than any fighter ever had when it comes to tricking a person with your appearance.
Right.
He's very fast. He's even fast on his feet. However, about 3 weeks before the Waco fight, I caught food poisoning.
Oh.
Right? And I just could not afford to pull out the fight.
Oh.
I caught food poisoning. I went down from 223 to 198 in a matter of 3 weeks, man. I couldn't eat nothing. I couldn't hold nothing. And I had to keep training. And I'm training. I'm talking about going to a hard professional workout with nothing on my stomach, getting done that workout, eating something, throwing it up, trying, and then eating soups and stuff so I won't throw up, still throwing that up. Everything's running through. And for 3 weeks, I went from like 223, man, to 198. I weighed in at 210 for that fight, but I kid you not, man. Right before weigh-in, I drank like a gallon and a half of water, so that I, so that I could be a little heavier on the scale, man. And I came in at 210. But that's what that was. It wasn't a part of my strategy at all to come in that small.
You see, that's why I said I'm going to wait until I ask him the question, because on the commentary was like, yeah, tonight Mansour comes in at a career lightest. Amir Mansour's been losing weight, and now he'll be looking for speed tonight. I'm thinking, why the hell would Mansour lose weight? Why would he do that?
Right.
I'm like, what the hell?
And you got to think, I was already faster than the weight goes. So
exactly.
No way in the world I needed to lose weight in order to become faster to beat him. And if you really look at that fight, man, I was just boxing him, man. I wasn't trying to take him out. I wasn't trying to really push the button. I really wasn't forcing the issue, And I saw that, he was in his shell, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make this an easy night. And believe it or not, man, I was trying not to throw up, you know what I'm saying? And like maybe get disqualified or something, because I know they wanted him to win. So I was trying not to throw up and not really, ram myself or push myself too hard, and, thank goodness though, we got the victory, man.
Yes, absolutely. So you see, you boxing fans out there that hear this story about Amir Mansour losing weight for a big fight, you now know that's a load of hogwash. Amir had food poisoning. Absolute hogwash. Don't believe the hype.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that wasn't no strategy at all, bro.
So we cleared that one up. Okay. The next thing, between yourself and Joey, I did see it across YouTube. Was that genuine hype between you two, or beef between you two, or was it just talk?
No, it was genuine. That was genuine. Like, man, believe me, man, like things got really, really heated between me and this dude, man, because he went from a guy that respected the hell out of me to a guy that just was totally disrespecting me. And, like, it really got heated, man. Like, at the press, it got heated so much so, and I looked around, man, and he had all these, big hillbilly jokers, man, looking, you know what I mean? And I didn't have a lot of people at the press conference. So when we did the weigh-in, man, I had to make some phone calls, man, and make sure that I had the squad there, man, because I really, I don't underestimate people at all, man. I don't underestimate nobody. And so, man, I had the goon squad, man, all up in there, man, at the weigh-in, man. Like, seriously, like, it was getting serious, man. They had to, listen, where do they hire security for a weigh-in at? You know what I mean? A fight like that, they had to hire double the amount of security at the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was serious, man.
What was the triggering point between yourself and Joey?
Basically the fact that he wasn't just talking trash. He was being disrespectful, telling him, I'm gonna knock you out, I'm gonna retire you, and all this crazy mess, and I'm saying to myself, kid, you came in my gym, you sparred me. I don't know. He left thinking that he got the best of me. I mean, I was beating him up so bad the first round. I came back to the corner. My trainer goes, look, stop hitting the kid in his head like that, man. Don't, he's just turning pro, man. Don't hurt him. Just work on some things. And so if anybody knows me, one thing I do as well is I spar good. I don't spar to beat you up. I spar to learn. I spar to work on things. And so, I might spar a guy and he might say, man, that dude can't really fight. Man, I'll whoop his butt. And then I'm a totally different beast when it comes to fighting for that money, fighting for that record, fighting to maintain your position. And so I guess he thought that he got the best of me. So he was like really talking all this trash, man, talking about how he was going to knock me out, how he was going to retire me. And he was being disrespectful while saying it, and, it just got real heated, man. But, like I said, man, it was a good thing that my trainer did tell me to calm down and don't, hurt him or anything like that when we were sparring, because otherwise he would have never fought. Same thing that happened with Kaufman. Travis came to spar me a couple of times, and he he felt like he got the best of me, and he just didn't realize that, you know, I don't spar to beat people. I don't spar to win rounds. I spar to work on things. So in his mind, he thought that I was going to be an easy night. He thought that, you know what, I could beat this guy. I whooped his ass sparring. And of course, you know, he didn't just get a different look. You know what I mean? He got a different outcome.
And what outcome was that?
He got beat. You know, he got beat. You know what I mean? Got beat. You know, got beat pretty easy as well. You know.
Let's talk about Steve Cunningham fight.
Oh man, that fight right there, man. You know, when they do a movie about me one day, that's going to be like a real emotional moment in the movie. All right, when me and Steve went to fight, we both agreed that we both needed to fight. It was all love, all respect throughout the whole time me and Steve was fighting. But it was like a lot of emphasis on, oh, he has a sick daughter. Now, mind you, at the time, I didn't know how sick his daughter was. And I had made a statement at a press conference like, look, I got kids too. You know, I have kids, you know, that I got to take care of too. We all got kids. All our kids get, you know, sick. But then I saw his daughter at the weigh-in.
Ooh.
And when I saw his daughter at the weigh-in, and then one of our guys found out what she was going through.
Ooh.
And anybody that knows me know one thing that Amir can't do is Children's Hospital. I'm not strong enough for it. Hats off to everybody that do Children's Hospitals. I'm not strong enough for it. I'll admit it. I love kids, man. I melt with kids, man. I'm just a big kid myself, you know. So I saw her, man, and it broke my heart. You hear me? It crushed me. And so it was one point where we were getting on an elevator to go back up to our rooms, and Kennedy and her mom was on the elevator, and her mom was like, come on. And I was like, no, it's okay. But she didn't know I had tears running down my damn face, man. And one of my cornermen, they, you know, grabbed and walked me off, man, because it really devastated me, man, that he was going through that with his daughter. And then he had to train to fight me, you know. And then I just looked at the little girl, man, like beautiful little girl, but you could tell she wasn't well, you know. And after the fight, you know, I did a interview, and you know, instead of answering questions about the fight, man, I was like, look, you know, I'm just glad that both of us are okay. You know, I was like, look, y'all all know how hospital bills are over here. You know, if anybody can help, you know, please help them, you know, take care of their daughter. And the next day, man, my inbox on Facebook was just blowing up with messages. How can I donate? How can I donate? How can I donate? And so I was sending them to those guys and Steve and his wife. And then they hit me up. They was like, yo, we cannot thank you enough. Oh, my God. You don't know how much you helped us. And I'm like, nah, it's nothing. It's nothing. They like, no, you don't know. So many people contact us to donate. And they was able to get enough money, relocate. And where they relocated at, they found the doctor to do the heart transplant for his daughter. And she did the heart transplant and she lived. And Steve tells the story all the time, man, with tears in his eyes, how he credits me towards, you know, I don't want to say saving his daughter's life because we all know that God has a hand in everything.
Absolutely, brother.
It really gives me a lot of credit for, you know, helping that situation, man. And me and Steve, man, are like brothers today, man. He's doing a comic book series. A lot of people don't know he's an awesome artist. He's doing a comic book series with him and I as superheroes. You might have seen a couple pictures on Facebook.
Wow.
You know, and we became like we're like true brothers, man. Like when I tell you I got crazy love for him and his family, and they got crazy love for me and my family, man. That's just the truth.
Wow, another great story there.
So that fight right there, I'm telling you, man, that fight is good. That's the emotional fight right there. As far as the decision, I do think that I won, you know. I know that the referee, he ended up getting suspended, you know what I mean, because he was doing shady stuff, you know. He was in the Federal Reserves, from what what I was told was Steve. And if you have any type of relationship with a fighter, you're supposed to make that known because you can't referee a fight that you got dealings with a person outside of boxing. And so he put on his application that he didn't have no ties with Steve or anything. And then we know the count. One was 12 seconds, another one was 13 seconds when I dropped him twice, And then when I dropped him in the 10th round, he called it a slip. And then when he hit me and one of my gloves touched the ground, which is technically a knockdown, but when I knocked him down, he fell flat on his back. He called it a slip. And then he called mine. But, I believe that the referee cost me that fight. I'm not really upset with the judges. I was in his hometown, and although I'm considered a Philly fighter, that is his hometown, two-time world champion, man. So, it is what it is, man. Like, that's one loss that, I can accept gracefully, man, because of the result of it all.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Dominic Breazeale fight, or Breazeale fight.
Oh, man. Honestly, emotionally, I don't think I'll ever get over that fight. But let me tell you, okay, 2015 July, I go into training camp. Okay, I fight Gerald Washington, October 13th, right?
Yep.
A week later, they asked me if I would fight Ortiz December the 12th. I'm like, yeah. We go right back in the camp. So with the exception of a week and a half about from mid-July to, October and beyond, I'm in training camp. So then now I'm in training camp to fight Spicker December 12th. And when I tell you training camp, I'm talking about punishing myself. I work out hard. Anybody that know how I work out hard. So when Klitschko loses his belt, Ortiz Spicker going to fight. Breazeale and Charles Martin were going to fight, and there were some other guys, but we were the two co-main event and main event on the December 12th card. When Klitschko lost his belt and freed a belt up, little things went crazy. So then they said, okay, you're not going to fight Spicker. You're going to fight Breazeale. And this is, mind you, this is about 7 days before the fight. I'm like, well, okay, fine, I'll fight Breazeale. So then they say, no, you're not going to fight Breazeale. You're going to fight Wilder January the 6th. Will you take the fight? Yes, I'll take the fight. They were going to pay me $350 to fight Wilder. Well, mind you, I believe that motherfucker found out he was going to fight me and said, hell no, took a fucking pay cut and paid Ortiz Spicker $750,000. If you look at Spilker's Twitter page, because it was at a point where it was either me or Spilker for Wilder to fight January 6th. And Spilker had even posted Hardcore Mansour versus Deontay Wilder. And that was about an hour after they had called me and asked me would I fight Wilder January 6th. That motherfucker so scared of me, man. He chose to fight Spilker. Okay, we know what happened with that. So then me and Breazeale were going to fight January the 6th. I'm still in training camp. Then they take me and Breazeale off January 26th, put us on the card January 23rd. So from mid-July all the way to January 23rd, I'm in damn training camp. You understand?
Yep.
By the time I got with Breazeale, I felt good. I thought I was in real good shape. I felt really good, but believe it or not, man, mentally I was drained. I mean, absolutely mentally drained. I mean, you're talking about getting a call, you're going to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. You're so fucking happy. You're crying. You're in the gym. Everybody's hugging each other. And then a day later, they tell you you're not fighting for it. You're going to go back and fight Breazeale. And you know, up and down. Now you're not going to fight January 6th. You're going to fight January 23rd, you know. And so, of course, got in there with Breazeale. Beat him round 1, dropped him round 2, beat him round 3, beat him round 4, beat him round 5. However, in round 2, I clipped both sides of my tongue. I have a bad habit of biting inside of my tongue. I don't know how I do it, but I bite the hell out of my tongue when I fight. if you look at after I fought Travis in March, I showed pictures of my tongue, but good thing I didn't, slice it like I did. I literally had 18 stitches on one side, 19 stitches on the other side inside my mouth that severed the artery. I'm swallowing blood from round 2 to round 5. I can't breathe. My tongue is about the size of the front of your sneaker, and it got to a point where I couldn't close my mouth. And he did catch me with a shot at the end of round 5. And it was a nice shot, but it affected me more so because I couldn't close my damn mouth. And the fight was, it's going into the round 6. That was the end of the fight, man. And, I don't have no excuses. Like I said, he weathered the storm. He won the fight. You know what I mean? But they know they burnt me out, man, mentally, man. They burnt me out, man. I was freaking drained. I was in camp for fucking, who be in camp for 6 fucking months? You got guys that don't even do 6 weeks of camp, and I'm in camp for 7 months, man. You know what I'm saying? 7 months in camp, nonstop, with the exception of a week and a half. And so, it is what it is, man, and that's what happened.
Okay, you're a straight talking guy, and we often have Bermain Stavern on our channel, and he doesn't have a lot of good things to say about Deontay Wilder in terms of his balls to want to take a real fight on. As you know now, Stavern is taking step aside money to fight Dominic Breazeale. The story is that Wilder is going to fight Ortiz, although Stavern said I'd be surprised if that fight happens because Wilder is not a chancer. He's a guy that basically will take the easy route out. In your opinion, what's your thoughts on Deontay Wilder?
Wilder don't even want to fight me, man, and I'm 45 years old. You hear me? I just fought a damn elimination bout to fight Wilder, and I'm still not fighting him, man. So that can chalk it up about Wilder's heart, or, if he's really trying to represent himself as a heavyweight champ, or is he trying to take a blueprint from Klitschko and, fight the mediocre competition that he barely can get sanctioned, he barely can get by the commission, but they can squeeze him in, and keep that type of, competition going. Taking nothing from Klitschko, I tell you what, I don't care if he fought all truck drivers. His fight with Joshua showed me that you the man, bro. You the man. Because he had you, Joshua. He had your ass. He had you. He had Joshua. He had you. But long story short, I just think that Wilder's getting to a point where he's just totally weakening the heavyweight division. I think Joshua is doing great things with his title. I think he's doing awesome things with his title. He's not, fighting a bunch of bums, man. He's fighting good guys. You know what I'm saying? Wilder, on the other hand, he's trying to skate, man. But here's the ticker. Al Heyman bought Luis Ortiz's contract. So Luis Ortiz is now with Al Heyman. So Al Heyman knows, win, lose, or draw, Deontay, I still got the world champion. You understand?
Yep.
I believe that they're going to make Deontay fight Ortiz. Trust me when I tell you, Deontay don't want to fight Ortiz. If that's the case, if it's really up to Deontay to fight Ortiz, he's not going to fight him. But I do not believe that it's Deontay's decision to fight Ortiz. I believe that is Al Heyman's decision, or it's the WBC's decision that he fights Ortiz. It definitely is not his. And I heard that they were fighting. I mean, they've been posting that they're fighting November the 4th.
Are you surprised that Ortiz and Wilder fight, or you think this is something that Al Heyman's had enough? He's going to just make Wilder fight Ortiz?
No, man. Al Heyman's not going to sign you if he doesn't believe you could become world champion. Why would he do that? Why wouldn't? It makes all the sense in the world. I mean,
well,
let me tell you, man, Al Heyman is a genius. You
here's
understand?
this.
So, at the end of the day, he's still going to have the WBC under Premier Boxing banner. He's still going to have the WBC champ under their banner. And I don't think that he's going to buy a contract for a guy that he doesn't intend to make world champion. So, you know, it makes all the sense in the world for Ortiz to get his shot.
Well, can you explain Steve Cunningham and Antonio Tarver, that fight?
I thought Steve won. I mean, obviously Tarver won, landed the harder shots, but I thought Steve won the fight, man.
Right.
Other than that, you know, there's nothing else to explain. You know, I thought that maybe they would get it on again, you know, and the winner, you know, gets a shot or whatever, you know, but that fight didn't materialize. And then Tarver made a video, you know, cursing out, you know, everybody, including Heyman, you know, and talking trash about everybody, you know. And here's a guy that, you know, was on top of the world, man. You squandered millions and millions of dollars, you know what I mean? If you didn't need the money financially, you wouldn't even be fighting anymore. You're a great fighter, you're a good fighter, so you can get away with it and still fight because, you know, he still has his faculties, he still has his speech, he still has his reflexes, so he still can get away with fighting because he was just that good of a fighter. But the reality is that, you know, he blew a lot of money, man, or whatever. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? And now it seems like he can't get a fight, you know? He can't get a fight, and he took his anger out on person, if you ask me.
Yourself and Tarver, what's the score with that?
I've been trying. Man, listen, let me tell you something. If you go down the list of 1 to 20 top heavyweights in the world, I can guarantee you that it's been a time or two that I tried to fight each and every one of them, man. You know, it's not even necessary to name names. I tried to fight every single one of them, man. I was even going to fight Povetkin in July. Povetkin's people called us, said, look, you know, we're considering Amir for July. The only thing we're worried about is his ranking in the WBO. Okay, cool. WBO pops up, puts me in their rankings. 15, I believe, in their rankings in the world. Okay, cool. Mind you, I used to be in the WBO NABO champ. I never lost that title. I vacated it. You understand? I was at one time number 3 or 5 in the WBO. But long story short, Povetkin turns around and fights some guy. I never even heard the guy's name. Well, I don't know who he is, you know. He might be known over there. We don't know him over here, you know. A lot of these guys, man, they so scared to fight me. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is.
It could have something to do with...
I don't know what it is.
I'll tell you what it is.
Sometimes, a lot of times, they say I'm too good for my own good. I don't know.
No, I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is, Amir, and I'm sure you're definitely a smart enough, articulate man to work this out. What about taking your highlights off of YouTube? That might help.
I know, right? I know. I didn't put those up, man. I don't know who did that pest, man. To be honest with you.
Yeah, well, yeah, it doesn't help where they see you knocking guys flat out, clean highlights of guys getting knocked spark out by you. That doesn't quite help you getting a big fight against a guy who might be either a bit chinny or a bit yellow in the heart, you know?
Yeah, you're right about that, man, because I definitely have some of the most devastating knockouts in the history of boxing.
Of course.
Some real crazy knockouts. But I didn't put those up, man. Some fans put them up. I never posted one video on YouTube. I don't even know how to post a video on YouTube, man. I'm not computer savvy, tech savvy at all, man.
I know. We know. We had to get you to download WhatsApp to make this interview even happen, didn't we?
And you see how long that took.
Dang. But we got there. We got there. Okay, we're going to play a game. We're going to play a game of Amir Mansour. We're going to say, all I'm going to say is a boxer's last name, and you're going to tell me a story in the eyes of Amir Hardcore Mansour, okay?
So hold on, you're going to tell me a boxer's name, and I'm going to say, is he Hardcore Mansour or not?
No.
What, does he beat me or not?
No. What happens, I'm going to call a fighter's name, and in your mind, you're going to tell me exactly what you think of them, regardless if it's politically correct or not.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
Right. We'll start with the WBC champion, Wilder.
Chicken.
Okay. Ortiz.
Decent.
Stavern. Brian Jennings.
Good fighter.
Joseph Parker.
Bum.
Hughie Fury.
Big fucking bum. And you know it.
Oh, shit.
His name shouldn't even have been mentioned.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Tyson Fury.
Asshole, dummy, nut.
Anthony Joshua.
Won the lottery. Hold on. Won the lottery ticket and lost it on his way to cash it in. Dummy. Joshua, gentleman. Good boxer. Good fighter. I like Anthony Joshua. I like him more so because of his demeanor, his character. He even DM'd me a few times and asked me about a few fighters, man. Good guy, man. I like Anthony.
Dillian Whyte.
Bum.
Derek Chisora.
Oh, let me tell you. Hold on. I know you fast with this, but that's another little punk that he just fought over here. We wanted to fight him. Do you know what this little punk said? Oh, I want to fight a tall lefty. I don't want to fight a right-hand fighter. Dillian Whyte, bum.
Can you go into more depth about that?
Yeah. He could have fought. His last fight could have been against me. When he just fought over here in the States, that could have been against me. He didn't want to fight me. He didn't. His people asked him. The promoters were going to make the fight. His little punk ass was scared. He's a bum. He's a scared bum. He tries to pick and choose his fighters just like a lot of other dudes. I have never, ever in my life, I'm the easiest fighter to work with a promoter because every time I've been called to fight somebody, I said, how much? Yeah. How much? Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. Even when I wasn't even comfortable with the pay. The only fight I turned down ever in my entire career was a rematch against Washington because we were getting paid half of what we got paid the first time around. And if anything, you get paid more. And that's the only time I put my foot down. But other than that, I never turned down a fight. Not once.
Gerald Washington.
Gerald Washington?
Yeah.
Heavy-handed.
Dominic Breazeale.
A trooper.
Ngannou. Izu.
Who?
Izu. The guy that Brazil
Who?
just. The guy. Who? The guy that Izu.
Who?
The guy that Brazil just knocked out.
Oh,
Izu.
He got to toughen up.
Okay. David Allen.
I don't know.
Fought Dillian Whyte. Fought Luis Ortiz.
I still don't know him.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see who else is
If
there.
Ortiz, big slow old ass beating, boom. Ortiz is older than me, man.
Can you get people talk?
I'm sorry, listen. I like Ortiz. Ortiz is a decent fighter. He's very savvy. He's very good. If this was 10 years ago, I'd probably be scared of him. But Ortiz is an old man, and for him to be beating these young bulls the way he beat them, as if they never put on a pair of gloves in their life, you get your ass whooped by Ortiz, and it's not a close fight. You're a fucking bum.
You said Ortiz is older than you. Explain that.
Man, hell yeah, man. Listen, I'm going to tell you the truth. Let me tell you something. Rigondeaux ass is older than me, too. Both of them. Man, look, Rigondeaux won how many Olympics? 3 of them? That's 12 years right there. You understand? You're not making no damn Cuban boxing team as no fucking 10-year-old or 11-year-old or fucking 6-year-old, which he would have had to be if he came over here at the age he said he was. You understand? He would have had to won his first damn Olympic title as like a fucking 11 or 12-year-old. We know that ain't true. You're not getting on an Olympic boxing team unless you're at least 18, 21. You know, they don't let the young boys rock out like that no more. And Cuba, come on, man. They got grown-ass men on their team. We all know that. And a guy that was on the Cuban boxing team, the Olympic Cuban boxing team, he's 55 today, and Ortiz was on the damn team with him. And he promised me that Ortiz was at least, at the very youngest, 48 years old.
Well, that's what I was telling people. There's no way Ortiz is 40 like everyone's saying he is.
Man, that motherfucker is 50, man. Listen, let me say this much. Just, I'm 45, you know, my career is supposed to be over, you understand? But one thing that blessed me is that I had no amateur career. But a guy like Ortiz, you had hundreds of amateur fights, you know, Breazeale, hundreds of amateur fights. You guys are still good as a motherfucker. Breazeale is look, he's one of those guys that come along once every 100 years, maybe. You understand?
Yeah.
I think he's going to beat Lomachenko, but we can get to that some other time. But Ortiz, I just think he's slow. He's just crafty as hell, man. He's very smart. His ring generalship is A+. But I just think he's just way too slow to be able to compete on the level he's competing on. But
what?
Again, he really hasn't beaten nobody.
Can you explain to me? Yeah, why do these people keep jumping on the bandwagon about Luis Ortiz? Luis Ortiz is this, Luis Ortiz that. Luis Ortiz can't sell a bloody ticket. I've explained that, but boxing fans seem to be obsessed with Luis Ortiz.
Man, listen, man. I don't know what it is. You know, when it comes to the, you know, black guys, they'll take a motherfucking black man from fucking Mars and make him famous before they'll make a black American famous, you know?
Yeah.
Who knows, man? I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know what it is. When you got a guy like me, absolute punching power, fight his ass off, never ever been beat in that ring. You know, Steve Cunningham, you watch the fight, you'll say, he didn't beat him. Amir won that fight. You will say that. If you know boxing, you'll say I won. At the very least, you'll say, damn, he didn't get his ass kicked. Against Breazeale, we all know I won every fucking round. So my two losses, I never really got my ass kicked. And here it is, you know, I'm still under the fucking radar. Current WBC champ, done won the NABO title, USBA title, the NABF title, every fucking junior title you can win in the world, I done won it. You understand? Except with the IBO. Other than that, I've won every junior title. I don't know what it is, man, but they'll take a black motherfucker from Mars and make him famous before they make a fucking American famous. I don't know.
Trust me,
I don't know why Ortiz is getting all this juice, man. Like, he's just this monster of a fighter, man. Because who has he really beat?
That's what I've said to everybody. The Bright Jennings fight, where Brett Jennings wasn't even prepared for the fight.
No, he wasn't. He was with John David Jackson for that fight.
Yes.
Somebody that has, like, you know, all these fighters and stuff like that. I know Jennings, and if there's one thing Jennings is a motherfucker that's in great shape when he fights. Jennings helped me get gas in my tank. I've sparred Jennings. I probably sparred Brian Jennings more than any other heavyweight I ever sparred that's in the top 15. Well, that's a fact. I've never sparred any heavyweight more than I sparred Brian Jennings. And I know what that motherfucker could do. I know what he can do, and I obviously know what he can do against a southpaw. That was not him fighting Ortiz, but no excuses. Ortiz won. You know, it is what it is, right?
Right, but I knew he wasn't.
Who the hell has he beat?
Dave Allen. Dave Allen.
I don't even know who the hell he is, man.
Okay. Malik Scott.
Good dude. Honestly, I was a little disappointed in him against his performance against Wilder. I was disappointed in that.
So was I.
Other than that, I like Malik, man. I like Malik as a person. Okay.
So
I'm
do
not
I.
too fond of him as a fighter.
Tony Thompson.
Triple OG. I got to give him this props. You know, he's a triple OG, man. You know.
I like Tony Thompson. I like him. Coyote.
Who?
I'm talking about the Ortiz resume. The cruiserweight that came up to heavyweight and fought Ortiz. Coyote, yes. Nigerian.
I don't know who the hell. I don't even know who that is.
Well, he was out of the cruiserweights. He came up.
He's a bum.
All right, let's go back. Big Baby Miller.
He's just too damn overweight. He got to lose some weight. If he really wants to compete the way that I believe he can compete in this division, he just has to slim down some. I thought he was huge against Gerald Washington. I don't know how he beat Gerald Washington that way, but looks are deceiving. Looks, like I said, about the weight goes. So I mean, I like Big Baby, man. There was some talk about me and him fighting. They asked me if would I fight him, and I said yeah. But honestly, it's like he's on his way up. Why should I be the one to, stomp that, or why should I be the one to stop this brother from,
I see that.
rise? You know what I'm saying?
I see that. Absolutely.
And then why the hell should I have to fight, a young up and coming motherfucker when I done fucking did it all and done it twice?
Yeah, absolutely. David Price.
Can't take a punch. Bum.
Okay.
Them amateur fights destroyed him. He can't take a punch. Y'all know that. He can't take a punch. He had too many amateur fights. I don't know what he does in his personal life. You know what I'm saying? That could play a part in it as well. But as far as I'm concerned, he had way too many damn amateur fights, and he can't take a punch.
Oh dear.
Bum.
David the Haymaker Hay.
One of my idols. One of my motherfucking idols. Triple, quadruple OG. I like David Hay. I was disappointed in him against Klitschko. I thought that he could beat Klitschko, but I believe that he just didn't rise to the occasion mentally. And then, we did find out about injuries that he was hiding. So I don't know, but I was disappointed in him against his performance against Klitschko. But David Hay is one of my idols over there in the UK, man.
Tony the Bomber Bellew.
Tony Bellew. I don't know him, bum. If I don't know you, you're a bum.
He starred in the Rocky movie and again with Andre Ward, and he beat David Hay in his last fight.
Oh, him. Oh, man. You know what? I got to apologize to that man. Trooper. Because he weathered the storm. A lot of fighters would have quit that fight against David Hay, or David Hay would have stopped a lot of fighters, not because he just hitting them so hard, but because he broke their will. He didn't break that kid's will. That kid stood steadfast, man, and he weathered the storm, and that's what got him that fight. Same way Breazeale did with me. He weathered the storm, and he's just able to keep getting up off that damn stool and weathered the storm. So I got to say he's a trooper.
Oscar Rivas.
Is that the guy that be having the eye problems?
No, that's the guy that says the new George Foreman. Mike Tyson mixed into one.
You're talking about the kid from Canada, right?
No, I don't know. I don't know where he's from. They call him the
Cuban kid, right?
Yeah, it might be, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I got a story about him. Me and him were going to fight. You know that?
No, I didn't.
I'm talking date set, camps running, camp up and running, date set, contract signed, every damn thing. Me and this motherfucker was going to fight. Now, prior to that, him and Breazeale was going to fight. He failed the eye exam. You remember that?
Yeah, okay.
He failed the eye exam against Breazeale. So him and Breazeale didn't fight. Him and I were going to fight. We were training to fight. Me and him were going to fight. Was it July 17th on the that was last year.
Right.
Remember Wilder fought July 17th last year?
Where he fought, was that Gerald Washington? You fought Gerald Washington, was it? Or
no, the fight before that, last year he fought down in Alabama.
Is that when he fought Spilka? Or Duhaupas?
No. The fight after Spilka.
Duhaupas.
Yes. Me and Rivas was on that undercard, and that's when they called me. He failed an eye exam again, and that's when they called me to fight Gerald Washington, the rematch. And like I said, they were only giving us half of what they gave us the first time around,
Right.
and I turned it down.
Shannon Briggs.
Can you spell that? Fucking dummy, fucking nut, bum, actor, clown, everything that's synonymous with not real.
Let's go, champ.
And everything synonymous with stupid. Who else?
Chris Areola, the Nightmare.
Scared of Amir, bum.
Shit.
He's another guy. I got knockout of the year when I stopped Cassie, right?
Yes.
Cassie turns around and make more fucking money on me, more money than me the following year. How does that happen? When he fought Chris Areola. Chris Areola don't want to see me. You want to fight a guy I knocked into next fucking week. And then really, Cassie won that damn fight. They called it what, a draw? Cassie won that fight. You know when you fight Chris Areola in his hometown, you get a draw. You fucking won. You know that.
Yep.
And bum. Chris Areola a bum.
Travis Kaufman.
Terrence Kaufman?
No. Travis the guy you fought last.
Terrence Crawford?
No, Travis Kaufman. Kaufman.
Oh, Travis Kaufman.
Yes.
Travis Kaufman. Trooper.
Okay. You said earlier on that Stavern was a bum. People are interested to know why you're calling Stavern a bum.
All right. I'm going to recant that. My apologies, Stavern. I can't say the man is a bum because he was heavyweight champion of the world. He has whipped some ass. Other than Chris Areola, I don't know who he beat. However, I don't know who he beat up that has a name other than Chris Areola. I was ringside when he lost his title to Wilder. I was so freaking mad. I got up and left after the 6th round and went up back to my room, getting ready to punch holes in the wall. I was so freaking mad that he just handed Wilder his title. And ever since that performance, has he beat anybody since then? Since losing his title? Has he even fought since losing his title?
He fought Derek Rossi, got knocked down in the first round and beat him on points.
Who?
He beat Derek Rossi on points.
Derek Rossi?
Yes.
Derek Rossi, though. I might have to say, yeah, I'm going to stick with saying he's a bum. I might have to stick with that one. It's the burn where I see you. You better not be in my face. You know I don't play that shit. I might have to stick with that, man. But no. All right, man. I'm going to say Stavern's a trooper. You know why, man? Because it comes from motherfucking Haiti, man. And you got to be a trooper coming from Haiti, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a fucking trooper. Come from Haiti and pull your fucking bootstraps up like the way he did and do the things that he did. So I'm going to say he's a trooper.
Okay. Predictions. Stavern Breazeale.
Stavern Breazeale. Man, see, it all depends on what type of fight Stavern fights. Okay? And like I said, when he fought Wilder, I said if Stavern fights Wilder the way he fought Chris Areola, Wilder's going to have an easy night. If Stavern fights Breazeale the way he fought Wilder and the way he fought Chris Areola, just coming forward, sluggishly moving his head, no real offense, no real defense, he's going to lose to Breazeale, straight up. Stavern got to put some pep in his step, and Stavern got to up his punch count, man, at least by 50%. He got to up his punch count by at least 50%, and he got to get a little quicker on his feet, man. Other than that, he's going to remain bum clad. Now, if he does that, he can beat Breazeale. Other than that, because see, Breazeale can endure, man. Look, the guy that Breazeale just beat not too long ago, this guy had Breazeale ass out. This this guy was fucking Breazeale up, in my opinion. But he ran out of gas and he didn't know how to function on E. He didn't know how to fight on E. When his gas tank got empty, he didn't know what to do. And that's okay. He's going to learn from that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
But Breazeale can endure. And look how many times he's endured. He endured against me. He even endured against Joshua. Listen, Joshua was whooping his ass. That motherfucker kept getting off that stool, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
You understand? The guy that you just mentioned. I can't say his name. I forget his name. But, you know, he had Breazeale down. Breazeale got up, kept fighting on. Breazeale can endure. So Breazeale's going to endure that bullshit that Stavern is doing. You're not going to knock him out with no one punch. You're not going to do it. You drop him, he getting back up, he going to fight your ass. And, you know, Stavern, in my opinion, he got lucky against Areola. He ended up knocking him out. But he was losing the fight like 8 rounds, like 7 rounds to 1, he was losing. So he has to up his punch count. So if the fight do go to distance, he can win on some points or something. He's looking for the knockout way too much. He's looking for his punching power way too much and not relying enough on his skill and his skill set or his punching, you know, count. He got to step his punch game up, man.
How does the fight
between?
He
gonna lose to Breazeale. He gonna lose.
How does the fight between Amir Mansour and Bermain Stavern go?
Now I would probably be a lot easier, even though I whoop Breazeale ass. I would probably be an easier match with Stavern than Breazeale. Breazeale tall as shit, big as shit, big strong motherfucker. I'm more Stavern size and more of the style. I'm not going to run and dance around the, you know, ring. I don't have a long reach. I'm going to fight him the way he fights, toe to toe, bomb, haymaker, letting it loose. But I know I'm a lot faster than him. I know I'm savvier than him in the ring. As you saw against Kaufman, I never gave people that look the look I gave Kaufman. I never fought like that before because I never felt like I had to or needed to. Stavern don't know how to do that. He only has one dimension, and that's come straight forward and moving his head a little bit. He's going to have a lot more skill sets than that in order to beat a guy like Mansour.
Go on. Joe Joyce.
Who?
Joe Joyce fought Olympics World Boxing Series.
Joe who?
Joyce.
I don't know him yet.
No, he isn't. Okay. What about Ben Munn? He was almost going to fight you. Amir. Ben Munn?
Ben Munn?
Yes.
Who the hell is that? According to Mike, he says the guy that almost fought Mansour. Who's Mike?
Mikey's one of the guys in our chat room. He says that Ben Munn was the guy you were about to fight.
I don't know. I really can't recall that name, man. Ben Munn. Where is he from?
Don't know. Ask Mikey. Mikey will come up with it. He does come up with these names. What do you think? Charlie asked the question about rumored to fight him in 2015. You were rumored to fight Ben Munn in 2015, says Mikey.
Oh, no, I don't remember.
It couldn't have been that important a fight if you can't remember him. You said earlier that you called Joseph Parker a bum and you called Hughie Fury a bum. Can you elaborate more?
Hughie Fury, come on, man. If Hughie Fury wasn't Tyson Fury's cousin or brother or whoever the hell he is, you would have never heard of that big, slow bum. He's a bum, man. Come on, man. You know Hughie can't fight. He can't fight. He cannot fight. Who has he beat? Huh? Who he beat? I don't hear nothing. Can y'all still hear me?
Oh, shit.
Oh, y'all. Who is he beat? Come on, man.
I beat Rodenko.
He sound like fucking Popeye's son. He was big. He reminds me of a big dude wearing a diaper or something. Hughie. They should call him Baby Hughie. He's a bum, man. Come on, man. He shouldn't even be mentioned with all the names that you mentioned.
Oh, shit. Joseph Parker.
If I was a sports writer, I would have a lot of good things to say about some of the guys I call bums. I'm saying I'm replying to this as their competitor, not as, you know, their comrade or anything like that.
Okay.
So just to be clear on that, because I respect all fighters. You feel me? at the end of the day, I do respect all fighters. So regardless of what I say about all of y'all, you know, I respect fighters, but I am a competitor, and this is how I feel about you as your competitor, not as, you know, a commentator or a writer. Or,
Yeah. Of course. As a fighter, you're
but
talking.
Hughie, fucking baby, he's a baby. He's probably dumber than his cousin or brother, you know, Tyson Fury, and he has no business boxing. If Tyson Fury didn't do what he did, you would have never heard of Big Baby Hughie.
Oh dear. Joey Abel.
I can't remember too much about him.
He had a win the other day.
Who did he beat?
He just knocked somebody out the other day. I can't remember who it was he knocked out. Somebody will come up. Somebody remind me of Joey Abel in a minute. I know he did fight Tyson.
Probably the trash truck driver. Probably the guy that picks the trash up on Thursday.
Oh shit. Jamal Woods.
Don't know him.
Okay. We talked about Big Baby Miller already. You're late to the show. Let me think of what else I could bring up. There's another guy up here. His name is Boban Flipikov.
Man, you can't even pronounce that shit. How the hell I'm going to know?
Shit.
I don't know who that is.
Shit. Oh dear. Yeah, he knocked out Joey Abel knocked out Zimovich.
Zimmerman? I don't know, man. I don't know too much about him.
Okay. What about Daniel Dubois? He's making a big scene here in the UK.
Daniel Dubois. Who did he last fight?
He knocked out AJ Carter in a round, but he's making a big scene. He's only 19 years old. He's knocking people out.
I know who you're talking about. Is he getting ready to fight? Is he getting ready to fight soon? Is David Hay promoting him or something?
No, that's Joe Joyce. He's promoted by Frank Warren. So, do you know a guy called D.L. Jones?
D.L. Jones? No, I don't know.
Okay. I believe you only lost fight twice in your career. Am I correct?
That's it.
Right. Well, I've got a guy here by the name of Phil Harve who says, ask him why he's lost so many times.
That's 2 times. I mean, tell him to Google it and look at the fight.
All right, that's why I know.
If he think I should have lost.
I know. We know that. We know. Sometimes you have to ask these questions because you've got people. So we talked about Big Baby Miller. Joseph Parker. You called Hughie a bum. What about Joseph Parker?
I don't think he's a bum, but I don't think he's really beat anybody.
He beat Andy Ruiz.
He's not much.
Oh shit.
He got a hell of a promoter though. They're getting two. Wasn't that his second world title shot? First. Didn't he fight Wilder?
No.
Ruiz?
No.
Or Ruiz? No, he didn't.
No, that's the school teacher, Melina.
Oh, okay. Damn. Wilder fought a school teacher?
Yeah, that was John Molina.
Wow. Does it get any worse than that, man?
I
mean, hats off to him, though. Hats off to him being a school teacher and everything, but does it get any worse than our world champion fighting a goddamn school teacher?
Well, he says people are saying here Adam Scott says Parker's record's not bad because he's fought Dimitrenko, Takam, or good wins.
Who's that?
Dimitrenko and Takam were wins by Parker.
Okay. Takam, former cruiserweight champ?
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, just think. How long was Takam cruiserweight champ? Wasn't he cruiserweight champ for quite a long time?
I'm sure he was cruiserweight Takam. Yeah, I think he was at one point.
Yeah. So, I mean, come on. You beat a guy on his way out the door. You know, he beat a guy on his way out the door.
He goes, AJ beat Molina as well, so you can't just diss Wilder. You got to diss AJ as well. But AJ fought Klitschko, which you just gave credit for. So there we go.
Did AJ defend his world title against Molina?
Yes, he did. Knocked him out in 3 rounds.
So then hats off to Molina's promoter or management team to get a school's teacher 2 fucking world title shots.
Okay. What drives you to keep Adrian Remedy asked the question, what's the main thing that keeps you what drives you to keep fighting?
The fact that I know I can do this, the fact that I know I'm just as good, if not better, than the world champions that's in place. Whenever there comes a fighter that I think I might not can beat, I'd say so. Prime example, you know, the only fighter I ever worried about, it was one guy. I said, dang, I don't know if I could beat this motherfucker, man. But I wasn't much, you know, intimidated by him. I would have eventually fought him, you know, if that's what it came down to. But I was just really that impressed by him. I thought that he was going to sweep through the division like Mike Tyson did. And that's Ike Iwuchi.
That's my boy. That's my boy. That's my. That's a. They're talking about the president. That's a bad man you're talking about there.
Bad man.
That's a bad man, a real bad man.
Yeah, exactly. I was so mad that he had the situation he had. Man, you know this. Don't
remind me.
A rich white kid just raped some girl. They gave him 3 months or something. The judge goes, I don't think he can handle prison life. And here's our guy Bucci. He has a drunken night with a girl, so they say or whatever, and he hits her, and they give the man all that fucking time in prison, man. You understand? That's a prime example of, you know, a lot of times, man, when a guy is on his way over here, if they can knock you off your fucking high horse, they're going to do it. Nowhere in the world that man should have got that much time. It's just a shame, man. It's a shame.
Yeah, that's you call a bad man. You know, do you think you would have cleaned up the heavyweight division in this era?
If I got an opportunity to do it, like within the next 12 months, you know what I'm saying? I'm 45, man. I'm not Superman. I'm a bad motherfucker, but I'm not Superman, you know? And nobody has ever been able to escape Father Time. I mean, I eat good, I sleep good, you know, I try and live a good life, you know, outside of the ring, you know? And I didn't have 100 amateur fights. I didn't even have 10 amateur fights. I didn't even have 1 amateur fight outside of the little fights that we had in prison. And so I believe that that's one of the pluses for Amir Mansour. I didn't have an extensive amateur career, so there never was a lot of wear and tear on my body.
Yeah.
And that's why you can understand when I'm talking. That's why I still can talk good. I can still move fast. I can still think fast. I still have good reflexes. I still have speed, you know. And then I have great genetics. You know, I could count on one hand, the amount of times my mom fed us McDonald's or fast food growing up. You know, my mom cooked good meals, home cooked meals every day. So I was raised on good food. You know, I wasn't raised on all this junk these kids are eating today, you know, and at the age of 30, they're past their prime.
Yeah.
It's unheard of, man. When it comes to real, genuine genetics of man, past your prime, you're only 30, you're still a baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
And but at the end of the day, I mean, I just have to get the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? The opportunity.
So
I won every fight that I'm supposed to win to get the opportunity, you know, and I'm still just knocking on the door of opportunity, man.
When do you think you'll fight again? Have you got a fight lined up?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I have no idea. You know, there's some talk. you know, and I was told not to say nothing. There is some talk, you know, so I can't really discuss it, but you know, I might be able to say something soon. I don't know, and if I do, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Now, let me say something too. I talked about a lot of dudes that ducked me, so I got to say about one fighter that I said some things about, but one thing, he never ducked me, and that's Ortiz. Him and I were going to fight 2 times, and each time he agreed to fight me, but different things happened. Before I fought Washington, him and I were going to fight, and then him and I were going to fight when he fought Malik Scott. When he fought Malik Scott, him and I were going to fight, and the fucking Vegas commission stopped it for some reason. Total bullshit. I think somebody made a call that, you know, had a little bit of juice or whatever and got Malik Scott in instead of me.
I have a good suspicion as to who that would be.
He agreed to fight me 2 times.
Yeah, I have a good suspicion who that might be.
I hope he whoops Wilder ass so I can get my shot at the world title.
Interesting. If Dominic if Stiverne gets past Breazeale, then he'll be #1 contender. He remains as #1 contender. So you've still got Whyte, and Wilder's there. You'll have Wilder Stiverne too. Much to your disgust.
Well, here's the deal. When you go look at those rankings or whatever, look at it as if the rankings represent politicians. They can promise you every damn thing they know that the people want. And when they get in office, they will give you none of it. And there's nothing you can do about it. That's the rankings for you, brother.
Okay.
Stiverne had a rematch clause, I believe, against Wilder.
Yes.
And he's been Wilder's mandatory since the day he got his ass whooped against Wilder. How many times has Wilder fought since he beat Stiverne? How long has Stiverne been Wilder's mandatory? Here's the truth about it, bro. HBO, Showtime, they don't want that shit. They don't want it. The big networks, they don't want it. They just don't want it, you know? And you know what's crazy? This was crazy. When I fought Washington, and then when I went in to fight Breazeale, Fox Sports told me, they said, at this point, you have the highest views than any fighter that ever was on Fox Sports under the PBC banner. When me and Breazeale got on as the co-main event, Fox Sports said that the ratings shot the fuck. This was the guys, Brian Kennedy. I'm quoting verbatim. Fucking ratings went through the ceiling, and then they went back down and leveled out during the main event. They went through the ceiling when you came in. It's true story, true shit. Me and Steve Cunningham, NBC Sports world record on most views of a boxing match. But I do think that it was broke after that with one of the championship fights that
was it not
put on.
Errol Spence?
Boxing.
Errol Spence, when Errol Spence fought what's his name?
No,
no,
not that one. Not that one.
Thurman versus
one of the Broner fights.
Sure, wasn't Thurman versus Porter?
No, Broner and Maidana.
Oh wow. Broner
and Maidana, I believe. Oh, you know what? It might have been. It was one of the Broner fights that broke me and Steve's record on NBC Sports. But long story short, I am the most watched heavyweight in America. I could put my viewings up to any heavyweight in America. How many people tuned in to watch you fight? How many people tuned in to watch me fight? And I blow them all out, including Deontay, man. And these motherfuckers still let this little chunk run from me, man, over and over and over.
And why do you think that is?
Like the fans over here, they love me. The fans over there where you at, they love me.
Mm-hmm.
You know where I got, like, we did a pay-per-view one time, a small telecast. You know where we got our most buys at?
Where?
Ireland. Not was it Ireland? Where's
UK?
Where's Spilka from?
Oh no, Poland.
Poland. because there was talk at one time against me and what's his name? He's southpaw too. He's on his way down the hill though. Champion had some wars with Steve Cunningham.
Oh yeah, you talk about Adamek.
Adamek, yeah, me and Adamek was gonna rock out, and we found out that I had the most fans than anywhere in the world. I had the most, following in Poland, man. So big up to Poland, man, and all the boxing fans there. I love y'all. I have not forgotten all the letters I got from y'all, the autograph requests I got from y'all. I thank y'all, man, over there in Poland. Big up.
Wow, I mean,
if they can hear me. Yeah.
So we can just wait to see what's going to happen with yourself. One question I do want to ask you I've asked you a lot of questions tonight, but why don't you go down the WBA route?
And do what?
Try and fight that for that regular title that's up for grabs at the moment.
The WBA championship belt?
Yes.
I did say that there was something, I don't know if that was mentioned. Well, here's the deal. When dumbass failed this drug test,
Briggs
in the cannon, when he failed this drug test, okay, we contacted the guy that he was going to fight. What's his name again?
Fraser Quendo.
We contacted them. Look, Amir's ready. Let's go. A week fucking notice. Let's go. We'll rock. We'll rock. We'll bring the noise. Man, they shut that whole show down. They shut the whole show down. And I don't know if it was Frez's call. I really don't think it was, because no fighter's going to just shut the whole damn show down. That's a promotional call.
Right.
So I'm not going to say that Frez didn't want to fight me or anything like that.
Okay, fair enough. So where would you like to go next then, Amir?
I just want to fight for the world championship, man. I just want to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. I put my work in. I beat enough guys. I have a big enough record. I'm current WBC champ. I'm former NABA champ, WBA. I'm former NABO champ, WBO. I'm former USBA champ, IBF. I'm former Intercontinental WBF champ. I mean, I just want my shot, man. You know what I mean? That's where I want to go. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I need to work my way up a ladder or anything like that. I feel as though I'm established enough as a fighter to get my shot, because guys that are lesser than me in the ring, lesser records than me, lesser wins than me, and guys that I've even whooped on, have got their shot. Washington, he just got his shot. Everybody know I won that fight. They called it a draw, so be it. I don't have no hard feelings against Washington. I was happy for him. I thought that he could have won the fight. I thought he was even winning the fight when he got stopped. But long story short, man, I just want my shot, man. That's why I want to go fight for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Would you potentially fight Anthony Joshua?
Oh yeah. I would love to fight Anthony, man. I would love to fight Anthony.
Okay, I've got to ask this question. People keep... Amir?
Yeah.
I've got this question to ask from Mark. He says he wants to know about your opinion of Teddy Atlas.
Say that again?
Your opinion of Teddy Atlas.
Teddy's cool, man. Like a lot of times Teddy spits the real, a lot of times Teddy spits the truth, but I don't think that Teddy represents certain fighters the way that he should, I mean, come on, man. You're Teddy Atlas. You have a fucking library of knowledge of this game, and you say that Lomachenko is #1 pound for pound best in the world.
Oh, shit.
Come on, man. You know what I mean? And then all the times that I've seen robbery robbery on TV, bad decisions on TV. I can't say that Teddy is one of the very few commentators that speaks out about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know, when he see robbery, man, he calls it as he see it. So I love that in Teddy. You know what I'm saying? I really do. You know, so for the most part, Teddy's one of the only commentators, man, that, you know, isn't in there to kiss the promoter's butt. You know, he's not in there to kiss no TV exec butt. He's in there to tell it like it is. And he's commentated a few of my fights and said some good things about me, so I can't say nothing bad about him.
Okay. People want to know your prediction for Hughie Fury versus Joseph Parker.
Man, Joseph's gonna beat the shit out of Hughie Fury. Hughie ain't got no business fighting for no fucking world championship, man. Who the fuck has he beat to deserve a shot at the heavyweight championship of the world? And Joseph Parker, you's a punk and a bum for representing yourself as the heavyweight champion of the world, and you're fighting a bum, Hughie Fury, just because he's in the media behind his big cousin, Tyson Fury, or brother. What is he? His brother or his cousin?
Cousin.
Okay, yeah. You know, come on, let's be realistic. You would have never heard of Hughie Fury if you didn't hear of Tyson Fury. If there was no Tyson Fury, if a guy is recognized on the merit of his boxing skills and the people that he beat, you would have never heard of no bum ass fucking Hughie fucking Fury. It makes me mad, man, just to even talk about it. Seriously, it's a disrespect to the sport, you know. And it's one of the reasons why boxing is losing a lot of fans. You know, you got your old school fans, man, that just aren't around anymore, you know. And boxing is going to end up being a nondescript sport, man, if they keep allowing bum motherfuckers like Hughie Fury to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. Who has he beaten? Name one guy he's beaten in order to be fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. This is like making it to the Super Bowl. This is like making it to the World Series. You know, either you belittle the heavyweight championship of the world title, belittle it and say, okay, it's perfectly fine for Hughie Fury to fight for the title, the world title, or you give the belt the respect that it deserves and you answer me and tell me who the hell is this bum fought in order to be fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Let me ask you a question. If Hughie Fury were to beat Joseph Parker to become heavyweight champion of the world, would you fight Hughie Fury?
I would whip his ass. Of course. Listen, if they put the title in a cage with a ferocious, wild Saharan desert male tiger, a lion, I would fight the lion for the belt, man. Simple as that. There's not one man walking this planet, 196,940,000 square miles. Not
of planet Earth, sir. Of planet Earth, sir.
Not fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Very few people know those figures, you know, sir. Said like that.
Hey, man, it is what it is.
Supreme wisdom, sir. Supreme wisdom. You understand me, right?
Well, it's only 29 million square miles of usable land, so what the heck? You know?
That's what my wife tells me every day, and she's from America as well. I'm sure you know.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Exactly. So if Hughie was to win the title, you would be more than happy to come to the UK to fight him.
I would come to where they fight, New Zealand.
No, they're fighting in the UK. The Championship of the World's been fought in Manchester, in the UK. This Saturday night, live on YouTube.
They can fly me into the UK, sit ringside, and if Hughie wins, I will not even return to America. I will stay right there in the UK, find me a gym. I'll even go find a UK trainer and prepare to beat the shit out of Hughie. It will be the easiest fight of my entire career.
Some would say you're probably proposing and putting yourself in a position to fight Hughie by talking all this smack talk. Is that the case, or is this?
Why wouldn't I? You know, I mean, the media is behind him, right? But at the same time, I ain't dumb. I know damn well he can't fight. I'm a fighter. The man can't fight. Who the hell has he beaten? Do you know one fighter he's beaten that's the top 30 in the world? Top 30.
Fred Cassie. Fred Cassie.
Who?
Fred Cassie, who you knocked out.
Fred Cassie, the guy that I knocked out, they almost had to take him out on a damn stretcher. The guy that I dominated for 7 rounds straight. He's a bum too. I showed you that he was a bum. So whoever beat him after I beat him, it's nothing. He's a bum. He ain't had no business in there with me, and that's why he got beat up the way he did. And he's not top 30.
So, in conclusion to our interview, is there anything else you'd like to say, Mr. Mansour?
Nah, I'm gonna clean that up though.
Clean that up now.
I can't do it to my boy like that. Ariola punk ass. You know what I'm saying? He got to draw with Ariola's punk ass, and Ariola fought for the world title twice. So I can't say Fred Cassie's a bum, but you can see his skill pit against my skill and how far above the fight game I am than a Fred Cassie. So when you say that, you know, okay, he deserves a shot at the heavyweight championship of the world,
then you deserve it as well.
He beat a guy, Fred Cassie, and then I look back and see how I dominated a Fred Cassie. If that didn't qualify me to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world, it damn sure doesn't qualify anyone else. And to do it years after I did.
How many years do you think you left in the sport, Amir?
I don't know, man. You know, I ask myself that all the time, and you know, I tell my corner people, I say, look, when y'all feel like I don't have it anymore, please be the first to tell me. I don't want to be one of these guys walking around and slurring, you know, with their speech, and you know what I mean, or get in that ring and just get totally demolished, you know. And then too, I'm a realist, man. I'm my biggest critic. I really am. I'm very honest with myself. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm very realistic with myself. And so, you know, if I walk into the gym one day and somebody whoops my ass and I really tried to beat them and somebody whoops my ass, I'm walking away. You know, I'm not going to stay in this sport that's giving me absolutely nothing and stay in it to get my butt whipped. You know what I mean? Because boxing hasn't done nothing but gave me a little bit of fame, man. It doesn't help me take care of my family. I've given it everything that I got, and it's given me nothing in return, you know, but some fame. You know, a lot of people know me, you know. But other than that, man, it's not worth it to me to put your health on the line for anything, let alone a thing that's not really benefiting you much or giving you much, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Final question: what are your thoughts on Hughie Fury versus Parker being on YouTube pay-per-view?
Nobody's gonna buy that bullshit. That's why it's on YouTube pay-per-view and not on HBO pay-per-view or Showtime pay-per-view. See, one thing that Showtime and HBO will tell you: take that bullshit somewhere else. I mean, they some sticklers, man. Just think. Klitschko and David Haye wasn't even a pay-per-view event over here with HBO and Showtime. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine Mike Tyson versus Holyfield not being pay-per-view. You feel me? Imagine Bo versus Holyfield 1 not being pay-per-view. Leonard versus Hagler not being pay-per-view. You know what I mean? And so that's why it's on YouTube pay-per-view, because the networks know it's bullshit. Straight up. Nobody gonna buy that shit. You gonna buy that shit? You might buy it because, you know, you gotta stay up on what's going on, but you don't want to pay for that shit. You probably making calls trying to get that shit for free.
Shit.
probably only $10 damn. You know what I'm saying? But you still ain't trying to get them $10 for that bullshit.
Hold on, wait, hold on a second. I saw Stevenson fight Fontfara for the second time. That was on TV, wasn't it?
Which Stevenson?
Adonis Stevenson.
Who?
Adonis Stevenson.
Adonis Stevenson. Who did he fight?
Fontfara for the second time.
Yeah, he did. People thought that was a good fight, man. People thought that was an exciting fight, you know.
For TV.
Yes, you know what I mean. And then some fighters can carry the torch, you know. Like Stevenson, he can carry the torch alone, you know what I mean? But he not going to get away with continuing to fight bums like that. You ain't seen his ass since. He better get him a good opponent or you won't see him another, you know, few months. But when it comes to a guy like Parker, who is world champion, but very few people know him or know of him because he really hasn't whooped nobody ass. And then he's defending his title already against nobodies and no names. He defended his title his last fight against the fucking guy he was out there sparring with.
Hold on.
Come on.
Can you say that again?
He just defended his title against a guy that he was out here in California sparring with. You guys is training every day together. You know, the guy helping you get ready for your fight against Hughie. And Hughie pulls out with some bullshit. What was his thumb was sore? He had a tummy ache or something. I don't know. Some bullshit. And so you grab one of your sparring partners and fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. So when you do things like that as a champion, you know, you just immediately turn people off. You know, if I won the heavyweight championship of the world, the first motherfucker I want to fight is the #1 guy that everybody wants to see fight for the title. I don't want to fight a damn bum. You know, why? You know, to me, it's just not exciting, and it's humiliating, and it's embarrassing.
I know you say.
Look and say how many people watch my fight, and it's like, oh, hardly nobody did.
I know you say that, Amir. That's easy to say until you're in that position. Should you become heavyweight champion of the world and the money's so good, you might not want to lose that belt, and that's why people keep on to their belts and don't want to defend against other champions because.
And that's exactly why the heavyweight division is no longer the popular division. For that very reason. So, you know, you got to think like this, man. Look at the money Mike and Bo and Holyfield and them was getting 25, 35, 40 million a fight. You feel me? Now these guys is lucky if they get $2 million. You know, Joshua, he got paid for Klitschko. What did they get? 10 million a piece? You know, 20 years ago they would have got 20 million a piece, 30 million a piece. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But because Klitschko dumped the damn division down all these years, being an undisputed champ, fighting all these bums, you know, and the networks got tired of it. They stopped picking it up, so the people stopped seeing the heavyweight defend this title, you know, and the heavyweight championship fight was no longer a big thing anymore because you knew he was fighting the bum. So nobody was making the type of money that they was making anymore. So if you are that heavyweight that everybody wants to see, oh, this guy right here is the real deal. This guy right here is the real deal. Okay, so instead of fighting 10 times for 1 million, I'd rather fight 1 time for 10 million. It makes all the sense in the world, man.
Absolutely.
You got to know how to sell yourself, but you also got to remember, you got to give the people what they want. You can't expect to get millions and millions of dollars and you not giving the people what they want. I will give the people what they want, and I will fight less and make a lot more damn money than these dudes are making, man.
I think we need to, as a community, as a boxing community, and everybody who's listening and watching, we all need to get behind you, Amir, and say, get Amir Mansour his title shot. Justice for Amir or justice for Mansour. What do you think?
Man, I love that, man.
What about?
It sounds catchy. It sounds great.
What about this?
And it's the truth,
brother.
It's the truth.
What about this? Justice or else?
Justice or else. We ain't watching no more of these bullshit ass heavyweight fights y'all put on.
That's it. Fantastic.
Well, people aren't doing that anyway. You know, people just aren't into the heavyweight championship fights anymore. You know.
Yeah.
They really I thought that the best heavyweight championship fight in maybe the last 15 years was Klitschko versus
Joshua.
You know, I thought that was maybe one of the best heavyweight championship fights, man, in the last fucking decade and a half.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? Other than that, we've been getting boring heavyweight championship fights. So the people know, here's a guy, he's 45 years old, you know, he done did, you know, decade in prison. You know, he fought against the odds, and he fought his way to the heavyweight championship of the world, and he really has a chance of winning. This guy will knock you out with both hands if he catches you. That's what people want to see. People don't want to see, oh, this guy, and you mentioning their name, and you never heard the damn name before, and he hasn't beaten anybody, and he can't knock a damn baby out, let alone a grown man. People don't want to see that shit. They don't want to see the heavyweight champion of the world defend against nobodies, man. They want to see the heavyweight champion of the world defend his title against bad motherfuckers. Straight up. Bad boy. Bad men. Motherfuckers that can fight. That's who they want to see the champion defend against. And until these dudes start defending against those type of fighters, they're going to keep making a million here, a couple million here, a couple million there. Yeah, go ahead and fight 50 more times and make 50 million. When you really, if you really are the true heavyweight champion of the world, you can make 50 million in 3 fights. But you got to fight real opposition. And you got to whoop their ass, you know? Oh, y'all think he bad? Y'all think this man can beat me? Okay, put him in here. That's what the people want to see. They don't want to keep seeing dudes defend against bums, man.
So I guess you're looking forward to Joshua versus Pulev then.
I think that's a decent fight, but I mean, come on, you know Pulev ain't got a damn chance in the world against Joshua. Not a chance in the world. You know?
Pulev says he's gonna knock Joshua out.
Huh?
He says he's gonna knock Joshua out. Pulev did.
Well, you know, he's trying to sell the fight, man. You know, he's saying what he's supposed to say, but he knows deep down inside, his corner knows deep down inside, he ain't got a chance in the world beating no damn Joshua.
And here is the final 2 questions. Would you go down the Frezequenda route? I think you've answered that question already. And would you ever do a UFC crossover fight?
A what? A European crossover fight?
UFC.
Oh, UFC? You know what? You know what a lot of people don't know? I am a wrestler. I wrestled growing up. That's the first sport I ever got into. I started wrestling when I was 5. I wrestled all the way up to high school. I won the AAUs 12 times. I won the regional title 12 times. I won the district title 13 times. And I'm 2-time state champ runner-up. I won the state championship 1 time. My brother won the high school state championship, went his whole high school senior year undefeated. Like, we grew up wrestlers. I would love to fight UFC. I was trying to get Jones. Me and Jones could have got on Mayweather and McGregor undercard.
So you would have gone and fought Jones, no problems.
Yeah, man, they could have had a ring on one side and an octagon on another side. I would have went in the octagon with Jones, you know, and Floyd and McGregor could have gotten the ring, and you know, me and Jones could have been the co-main event, man. It'd been big. They should have had somebody in the octagon that night, but I mean, the fight did crazy numbers, man. Everybody watched it, so they still did good, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't want to talk too much about the fight that happened on the weekend because people are all up in arms about it, and I understand. But if people are getting up in arms about that, they should be up in arms about Carson Jones's fight with Antonio Margarito. Did you see that fight?
Who? Antonio who?
Margarito and Carson Jones. Did you see that fight?
Margarita and Costa? No, I didn't.
Okay. So,
I will say this. Let me say this
what's that?
real quick. That no good judge, no good. She's corrupt. She's no good. Adele Bird.
Adelaide Bird, yes.
She is very consistent. She needs to be investigated. She's very consistent with those type of decisions. This just happened to be a fight where two white boys are involved. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So now it's a big deal that she's judging like this. She's very consistent judging, just opposite of her two counterpart judges. Do you know she had Gerald Washington beating me every single round? Every single round. You understand? And I'm a victim of her corruption. You understand what I'm saying? I am a victim of this lady's corruption. And she has no business judging fights, man. You know, that's all I can say about that. I thought it was close to a draw with GG leaning towards, you know, the win. But, you know, at the end of the day, sometimes the judge does take the power punches over, you know, the softer punches. And even though GG came in as being the power puncher, he didn't land the most power punches, you know? And so sometimes, you know, those could win fights or whatever. So sometimes, you know, give or take a round or two, Canelo could have got the round over landing, you know, what it looked like the harder punch.
Mm-hmm.
But that chick, Adele Bird, bro, I mean, oh my God, man, so many crazy robbery fights, you'd be surprised that she's one of the damn judges.
Yeah, people asking, do you think you could be still as strong as Hopkins was at 50?
Just something that remains to be seen, you know. I think that genetically, I am genetically stronger than him. You know, I mean, you see his physique coming up even when he was younger, and then you see my physique. I obviously have more muscle in my genetics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, I believe that I possibly could. You know, who knows, man? Just time will tell everything, you know?
Isn't it about how to eat to live? Would you say that?
Oh, for sure. You know, for sure. You know, it's the reason why people die with pounds of undigested red meat in their system.
Of course, brother.
Nothing for us, man.
Of course, brother.
It's not for us, man. You
of
understand?
Course,
it's
of
just,
course.
You know, we have to eat the diet that we were created
to eat.
Man.
Absolutely,
you know,
brother.
I ain't talking no religious stuff. I ain't talking no righteous stuff. I'm talking reality.
Absolutely.
1 + 1 = 2. You know what I mean? You have to eat the foods that is prescribed for you by nature. You know, not what's prescribed for someone else by nature. Or
absolutely.
Not what is good or whatever. You know.
For the original man, correct?
Excuse me?
For the original man, correct?
Yeah, man. I mean, not just for the original man, but for the human being, period.
Well, of course.
We're not meat eaters. We're not junk eaters. We're not sugar, you know, consumers. You know, we eat more sugar than anything on the planet. You know, we eat more sugar than damn bumblebees, man. You know, and
it's not right.
You know, we eat more junk. We eat more junk than anybody, man. You know, just the human being, period. You know, we eat a lot of junk. We eat a lot of stuff that we should not be eating. You know.
One final comment from DJ Sick. He says, "If Rigondeaux and Ortiz can fight at 50, then so can Amir."
Oh, for sure. For sure. You know, those guys. Listen, you know, those guys are my inspiration, man. Believe me when I tell you. You know, I'll be looking at Rigondeaux. He's southpaw too, man. I'll be watching him, man. I'll be like, you know, and you know, hey, man, more power to them, man. However old they are, you know, more power to them. You know what I mean? Listen, at the end of the day, we do know that human beings are advancing. We're getting smarter. We are eating healthier. We are learning, you know, how to take care of our bodies better. You know what I mean? We're learning to do things to prolong our lives. You know, people are living, 10, 15 years longer. You know what I mean? So what comes with all that is that, you can prolong your prime years, 10 more years, 10, 15 more years. You can stay from going, over the hill, 10, 15 more years. You can prolong a lot of things. When you can prolong your life, then you can prolong every process during that life. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So, again, you definitely have to take care of your body. You definitely have to do that.
Amir, do you have any final words to say to your fans and people around the world who are just listening to you today?
Well, one thing, man, I want to say is I truly, people say this all the time, y'all hear, celebrities or famous people or whatever, people that are in the, athletes say, thank the fans and stuff like that. But when I say that I thank you all, man, I honestly thank you. A lot of you guys get in my inbox and you be like, wow, I can't believe you responded, or I can't believe you hit me back, and that's because, I would never ever become arrogant. I will never ever, not appreciate you guys. I will never ever not appreciate what it means to have fans, and I never ever would devalue the significance of all of y'all out there. Y'all that turn that TV on to watch boxing, you guys that, cover boxing, we need y'all. A lot of people just act like they don't need you. And I try my very best to never act like I don't need you guys and I don't need fans. And I hope that I come across like that when you get a chance to meet me or you approach me or whatever. I hope that I come across as a regular being, a regular person, a down-to-earth person, and somebody that has not 1 ounce of arrogance at all in them. And so I thank all of y'all, man, for hitting me up, having me on your show. And I love you guys over there in the UK, man. Y'all be supporting me, man, like a mother. And I love it, man. So, thanks to you guys, man. I appreciate you guys. And that's about it, man. You didn't have me talking about every damn thing.
See, when you come on BWTM, it's a different experience. I'd like to say, Amir, welcome to the family. Welcome to the BWTM stable. You're in with a list of some great names. Uncle Bashir being the daddy of the show. So thank you so much for taking your time. It was 2 years of waiting to talk to you, but we made it happen. And believe me, 2 years we did it, and
I got the WhatsApp now, man.
we got the WhatsApp. So you know where I am, brother. You know where to find me, and you know where the exclusive needs to be. Yeah.
No doubt, man. No doubt. I got you. My word, I got you.
I got you too, bro. You know I got you. I think
my next date is gonna be the first to break it, man. I give you my word on that.
Thank you, bro.
I usually let Fight Hype do it. And what I'll do is I'll just call them like 2 seconds after I call you.
No. Listen. Whoa. Rule number 1. I called you and we talked for almost what? We started for 2 hours talking. When has Fight Hype done your 2-hour interview?
Man, plenty of times, brother. I gotta tell you, man. Fight Hype. I can't say
Damn.
They have not held me down.
I listen.
Right now, be like, man, I need y'all to print this, and they will say, all right.
Well, guess what?
And they'll print it the next
Listen,
day.
I got massive love to Fight Hype because they helped me start my career off when I was in the UK. So I got massive love to them, Ben Scott and them guys. Massive love to them, all of them. Massive
so you
love.
Know how they do.
Of course, they're family. They're like family to me. So massive love to them.
Yeah. No doubt,
all jokes aside, but yeah, all seriousness now. Thank you so much, Amir, and we look forward to getting that exclusive from you. And you are part of the BWTM family now, so you know who I am, you know how I roll, we know how you roll, so it's gonna be fun.
And if you're not tuning in to BWT, you're not hardcore, baby.
That's coming from the hardcore man himself, Amir Mansour. Amir, brother, thank you so much once again.
All right, man. Y'all be easy, man. Thank you, brother.
Take care, champ.
All right,
Peace out. So there you go. Amir Mansour live and exclusive on BWTM. Now, I just wonder if I can work a little bit of magic here for you guys and give you a little special on top. Let me see what I can do. Maybe not. Right. Need Amir back in the ring. Beats lots of the top contenders. A nice hearing of you, Amir. Great boxer and great down-to-earth guy. Give him a shout out from me. I will do, Charlie. I'll tell him. And you can follow Amir Mansour on his Facebook page, Amir Hardcore Mansour. That's it from us, BWTM. Thank you all so much for staying up for this long to listen to intense, long interview of Amir Mansour. The only way fighters are really going to get to know the in-depth things about fighters is if we take the time to get to know what they're about. So I'll get to talk to Abel. I'm not too concerned about that. I'll get to talk to him. But you know, there are other people in the world other than Abel Sanchez, you know, GGG. No disrespect to them, but there are other fighters in the world. Here's a guy in Amir Mansour who wants his opportunity to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. I hope you all have enjoyed it and have a really great night. Thank you all so much. For those of you who appreciate the night and appreciate the show, really appreciate you. It is nice when people are thankful and grateful for the stuff like this. So Charlie C, I appreciate what you've got to say. Thank you so much. Love the positive energy that you all have on the channel. Really love the positive energy. It's really good. And you know, love it. I love it. Thank you all so much. Again, BWTM Sports. This is Ingram Jones. Thank you for listening. I think we're out. We're out of here. Take care. Boom.